Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Prime. This is Israel Rivera here to start the AFC West divisional preview. I got a special guest here, TJ Hopkins from the Triangle.
How y'all doing?
How you doing, sir? This is the first episode that we're doing together for PSW the Prime. So right now we're gonna go over the AFC West. I went over the NFC a couple weeks back. Had some technical difficulties this week. Would have dropped it a lot sooner, but I figured a special guest would be perfect for it. So let's see how it goes. Hopefully we can rekindle the magic from the Triangle. But definitely I'm excited. Football's around the corner. Training camps started. And everything looks to seem like it's rolling downhill from here. Preseason's right around the corner. And then regular season starting. And Super Bowl. And then the season gonna be over.
So quick. As quick as it starts, it's over.
Exactly. So, yeah, definitely, man, it's gonna be a fun season. And the AFC West proves it. Be a fun season right here on the Alright, so we're going to go over the AFC West here, like I said, and I'm going to start with the worst teams that I think that are going to be in the bottom of this division, which obviously are going to be the Raiders and the Chargers. Cause
I agree with one of those picks.
What do you mean? What are you talking about? You agree with one of those picks? Who do you think's gonna?
The Chargers will be the worst team in this division.
Oh wow!
I mean,
wow. I don't know about that. I don't know if the Chargers are gonna be the worst team in this division.
Yeah, it's gonna be them. I'm not second guessing it. It's gonna be them.
Well, how about we start with the Chargers?
It's gonna be them. Like, your offense isn't what it used to be. I mean, like, yes, you have a budding superstar in Melvin Gordon.
Right.
But you have a quarterback who's old. You have a tight end in Antonio Gates who's old, and outside of him, who do you outside of those two guys? Who do you, if you're Phillip Rivers, who do you get the ball to?
Okay, well, I mean,
Keenan Allen. Is he still there?
Yeah, he's still there. They picked up Travis Benjamin.
So
they got Stevie Johnson.
So
Dontrell Inman showed us something. You still got Danny Woodhead out the backfield, right? You still got Danny Woodhead.
He ain't been the same since he left Tom Brady.
Brendan Oliver is still there. I mean, Melvin Gordon. They hope for him to make strides next year. Like he said, Phillip Rivers. On the offensive line, they're still the same. You know, King Dunlap, DJ Fluker, Orlando Franklin, Matt Slauson.
But you had Joey Bosa.
Yeah, well, that's defensive line. So you had Joey Bosa, your first round pick from Ohio State. He's a straight stud. Okay, but I mean,
hopefully Manti Te'o can stay healthy. You got a nice little 1-2 punch. But you lose Eric Weddle in the offseason.
Yes, you did lose Eric Weddle.
Which was don't get me wrong, like he's getting up there in age too, but you still got Brandon Flowers,
Jason Verrett. I mean, they still got some guys to fall back on. I mean, look, hey, let's put this out there, man. Defensively, the Chargers stunk it up. I mean, 20th overall in total yards, 14th overall in passing yards, 27th in the rushing game. You can only get better when you add Joey Bosa to that defensive line. But like I said, they lost Eric Weddle, so you don't really gain much there defensively in the passing defense. So you might have a point. They might be the worst team, but I mean, in terms of offensive production, you got Phillip Rivers and all those other dudes. I mean, you're talking about they're going to be a top 10 passing team again.
ESPN has them going 6-10. I got them going 4-12.
6-10. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I could see 6-10.
I give them 4-12.
I can see 6-10 because I don't think they're gonna make a dramatic change defensively, especially in the passing game. They're not gonna be any better. They're probably gonna be worse. Stopping the run, they gotten better stopping the run. I mean, that's what they were 27th worst rushing defensive team in the NFL. They can only get better with Joey Bosa. So
4-12.
4-12. 4-12. I'll go on a limb. I'll say 7-9 because
you go 4-12 and you get another top.
I'll say 7-9.
5 pick.
I'll say 7-9. Reason being, I think the Chargers, as long as you got Phillip Rivers, and I mean, they're getting up there in years, but they're still
getting up there. They're already there.
I know they're getting up. They're up there already, but you still have enough talent on that offense to where he could keep you in games. Mm-hmm. It's all about the defense closing out games, stopping, making stops. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, so obviously the Chargers they're gonna have the work cut out for them coming up this season. But you predict they're gonna be a last place team. I think the Oakland Raiders might have something to say about that, but they're a young team. They're getting a lot better.
I got Oakland finishing second.
Oh, now let's go to the Oakland Raiders now. Now the Raiders, they're interesting because they're young. They had this whole total rebuild. Are we both on the same page? Carl Joseph as a rookie is going to fill that void of that Charles Woodson leaving, Carl Joseph stepping in, possibly.
Yeah,
I like Carl Joseph. I mean, I think he's going to be have the most impact as a rookie on that team.
Everyone talks about rookie quarterbacks getting thrown right into the fire. Well, defensive rookies, depending on the team and the situation, they get tossed into that same fire.
Yeah, but I think when you're a cornerback, I think you can make the adjustment a lot better than a quarterback can. There's a lot of things to compute as a rookie quarterback coming into the league.
It really depends because it's like if you look at Kyle Fuller's rookie year, like Peanut Tillman goes down, right, and Kyle Fuller automatically becomes the number one corner.
Yeah, and then he hasn't stopped since then.
And it's like like that's the trial by fire. So it's all like Carl Joseph, safety out of West Virginia. Charles Woodson transitioned from corner to safety.
He's not a hybrid. He played both positions, and he played so close to the line all the time, too.
Just because of his playmaking, and he switched to safety because of his age.
And he was good in the running game. I mean, he was a great stopper in the run. He come up from that safety position, cornerback position, and he can make open field tackles. One of the best open field tacklers this game's seen.
Yeah, Charles Woodson retired. He's on his way to Canton in about 5 years. That's the grace period. So yeah, Carl Joseph, he's just gonna come in and hopefully pick up what Woodson left off.
Now the Raiders offensively, they need to get better. I mean,
they just need a run game.
They got a running game. Well, look, hey, Latavius Murray
They need a run game.
They do need a run game. They were 28th worst rushing team in the league offensively.
They need a run game.
Yes, you're right.
You have a solid AC/DC connection with Amari Cooper and Derek Carr.
Yeah, and then Michael Crabtree.
And you got Crabtree, that veteran.
Pretty much, and then after that, I mean, you fall off. In terms of talent, in terms of the wide receiver, you got a bunch of Andre Holmes, Seth Roberts,
you need
Max McCaffrey. You need better.
You need
weapons
a better tight end. You need a better tight end.
Michael Rivera's your starting tight end coming into the season.
You need a better tight end, and it's like
solid young offensive line. Defensively is where they're gonna.
Defensively, Oakland should be one of the top defensive teams.
Well, last year they weren't.
A lot of those guys, especially Khalil Mack, that was that his?
Yeah, he was a beast last year.
That was his rookie year, but it was all like he.
I don't know. No, Khalil Mack was
his sophomore year.
Yeah, sophomore year. Yeah.
So it's like that was his second year. So it's all like by them getting we thought by can't think of his name right now, but he's always in trouble.
Oh, you talking about he went to the Cowboys. Rolando McClain?
No, the one that used to play for Alden Smith.
Oh yeah, Alden Smith. I don't know. I don't think Alden Smith is there.
He's not. But we thought we thought when Alden Smith signed with Oakland,
where's he at now?
Alden Smith is looking for a job.
Oh yeah, he's looking for a job
because he's facing
suspension.
He's facing suspension.
Yeah, all that talent and I
remember when he signed last year, and me, you, and David Huffman was talking on the Triangle. We talking, hey man, him and You got Khalil Mack on one side, and you just signed Aldon Smith. Mm-hmm. Aldon Smith, like, although he is a knucklehead, Aldon Smith is a capable pass rusher. Mm-hmm. So, like, that means you can't double team Khalil Mack.
No, you can't. No. Well, now you definitely can't because Bruce Irvin's
so you replace Aldon Smith with Bruce Irvin, and you really can't double team.
Well, I think they're gonna play a lot of. I think they're gonna play a lot of 3-4.
Well, they're a natural
3-4 team.
Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So they're gonna play a lot of 3-4. So Khalil Mack's gonna play a lot in the stand-up position.
Because Khalil Mack, he played on the line and he also played linebacker. Because I think he was the first person to get named to the Pro Bowl in 2 different positions.
Yeah, 2 different positions. Yeah, both 4-3 and 3-4 linemen. Yeah,
so it's
right.
like, what?
Yes, I mean, yeah, Khalil Mack. I mean, I think this year they're going to utilize their players a lot more. Bruce Irvin on one end, Khalil Mack on the other, and they're going to rush the passer. They're going to get after it. And
so be on the lookout for Oakland. ESPN has them going.
Shalik Calhoun from Michigan State? He's from. I like him too. I mean, they got some guys, man. They got some guys that they're going into training camp with. I mean, we'll see how the rosters end up. A lot of these guys that are on the training camp rosters that I'm looking at right here, they're gonna get cut. They're gonna be looking for other NFL teams to sign them. But
so, yeah, like ESPN has them going 10-6. I can see 10-6.
You can see 10-6. I see the middle, and I see them 9-7.
I can see 9.
I'm gonna go the win less.
I can see 9-7. I mean, if they get lucky, and they mature right, if they hit their stride. If they like come into their own kind of early, or they come in kind of late, and they make they make a little push for it. 11-5, maybe. Maybe. I
don't know, man. Latavius Murray's got to show us a little something.
It depends.
But the way this offensive line is built, they're a bunch of, they're not a running team, man. They're a passing team. They're not a nitty gritty. Exactly. Well, they don't got guys that are big bruisers.
They're not that John Gruden.
No, they're not
the John Gruden Oakland Raiders.
No, they're not. They're not at all. And
the Tuck rule Oakland.
You got Donald Penn's an excellent pass blocker, but he's been not that great in the running game, and he's getting up there in years. Menelik Watson, I believe he's from Florida State, is he? I'm not mistaken, on that offensive line, and that other guy, a few other guys that a lot of people that aren't familiar with. An offensive line is a positions that are overlooked in the NFL. Yeah. Pretty much. I mean, they're the bloodline of everything that happens. You have a bad offensive line, you're gonna have a bad offensive team.
Andrew Luck.
Exactly. I mean, you can't really get much done when your quarterback doesn't have time to throw or your running back doesn't have any holes to run through. So, definitely, Oakland Raiders, I say 9-7. You say 10-6. You say third place in the division. Or you say second place in the division. I say third place in the division. Because I think my next 2 teams, obviously, the Broncos and the Chiefs now. Okay. Let's move on to them, and let's start with the Chiefs now. I think the Chiefs are going to win this division.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think ESPN.
I mean, well, not really wow, but I can see why you're saying what you're saying.
I don't know what ESPN has them projected as in terms of their standings for next year.
I can see you saying what you're saying because as of right now, Denver doesn't even have a quarterback.
Yeah, no, exactly. So Denver doesn't have a quarterback. At least we know who's gonna be the man, coming into into the season. Alex Smith has solidified that position.
ESPN has them going 10-6.
10-6.
I mean, you got Alex Smith.
Go ahead, say what you want to say.
You got Alex Smith. Then you just signed Nick Foles.
Yesterday they just signed Nick Foles as the backup.
Hopefully Jamal Charles.
They got Kevin Hogan. They got Kevin Hogan as their rookie for the future. Hopefully he could blossom into something.
Wait, Kevin Hogan, Stanford?
Stanford, yeah. Stanford and Kevin Hogan.
The one that used to be a Heisman candidate.
Yes, he's a
first
backup
round draft pick.
Yes, he's a backup quarterback. But I think he's going to turn out well.
Undrafted.
He's going to turn out well. I think Kevin Hogan I think he'll be good. He was their fifth round draft pick.
Oh, he was fifth round. Yeah. He did get drafted.
They're not gonna cut him. He's gonna be their third quarterback coming into the season.
Yeah, sorry, Tyler Bray.
Yeah, definitely Tyler Bray's not gonna. He's definitely gonna get
bounce.
Cut. Yeah, he's gonna get bounced, especially with that Nick Foles signing. But then you gotta, but also with the Nick Foles, I mean, it drives competition for Alex Smith. I mean, you gotta look at all options.
Yeah, because you got Alex. The reason Nick Foles chose Kansas City over going to Dallas was Andy Reid. Andy Reid drafted Nick Foles.
Yeah, and when
Nick
he actually
Foles Nick Foles threw, what was it, 27 touchdowns and 2 interceptions?
Yeah, he knows how to run his offense.
Under Nick, I mean, granted,
pretty good too.
Granted, it was a short body of work, but you still threw 27 touchdowns.
Yeah, he was a beast.
2 interceptions.
And you got another connection there, Jeremy Maclin. Also used to be his man when he was down in Philly. So hey, man, it might work well. Alex Smith goes down, Nick Foles comes in. Hey, you might be talking about the next Steve Young.
I don't go that far.
Well, I mean, that's what kind of happened to Steve Young. I mean, Steve Young was Joe Montana's backup for so long. I mean, after he was on the Bucs and he was terrible, and then he got traded to the 49ers because Walsh was like, hey, I like this guy. He was a product of the terrible system, and he ended up, even as a backup to Joe Montana, he ended up performing well, and he won 3 Super Bowls, and he got inserted into the starting lineup in '91, and same thing can happen to Nick Foles.
You got Kansas City, their defense ain't nothing to sleep on. Right. I mean, even though Eric Berry, who, in my opinion, should have gotten every whatever award possible for doing what he did. This man beat cancer, came back and had one of the best seasons a person could have.
Well, defensively, yeah. Let's talk about their defense. Defensively, they're not going to fall off at all. If anything, they're going to stay solid. Top 10 team defensively, 7th overall total yards, 9th overall passing defense, 8th overall rushing.
That also comes down to everybody being there right now. Eric Berry is holding out because
that is true. Yeah, he's holding out, but I don't think he has that. I don't think he has that same effect that a Cam Chancellor.
I think he has that same effect.
Not to the effect.
Not to the continuity that Cam Chancellor has, because Cam Chancellor, that dude. That's a once in a million type dude. But before there was Cam Chancellor, there was Eric Berry. Everybody knew Eric Berry long before they knew Cam Chancellor. That's like
Bam Bam Cam knows how to bring the wood though. Baby.
He do. He when
you don't have Bam Bam Cam back there,
he's coming to his own, rightfully so. But everybody knew Eric Berry coming out of Tennessee. Everybody knew Eric Berry.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so he does have some type of clout, especially in Kansas City, and especially after the season he just had. Like, this man beat cancer, came back, and still balled out for all of you.
Right.
So it's like he paid the man.
Natural 3-4 team.
Pay the man.
Defensively. I mean, Dontari Poe's their nose tackle.
That boy is a beast.
Yeah, he's a beast. And then, linebacking core, you got Tom Bahali, for example, Derek Johnson.
Houston.
Justin. Oh, I don't think Justin Houston. Houston, is he still there?
Yeah,
he should still be there. Yeah. But I think he's a little injured though. I think he's injured. Yeah, I think he's injured going into training camp. So once he comes in back healthy, Justin Houston, yeah, they're still a good team. Offensively is where they need their work cut out. 27th overall, worst team, one of the worst teams offensively totally. 30th in the passing game, 6th overall in the rushing game. I mean, you got Jamal Charles, Spencer Ware, Sharkandrick West.
The Shark West.
Yeah, I mean, so definitely, and that's due to the fact that Alex Smith can't get the ball down the field.
But even when he was in San Fran, like he was like when he had a vertical tight end threat like Vernon Davis, like
right.
He was never that type of quarterback. He was always a 5-yard out, 10-yard out kind of quarterback. He was never a burn your man, I'm gonna just throw this ball down the field and I'm just gonna let you go get it type.
Yeah, no, he's not that type of guy. He's a safe thrower. Yeah,
what's the term? Game manager.
He's your ultimate game manager.
He's the prototypical game manager.
But see, even though he's your game manager, he's still an effective game manager.
Like he
doesn't make a lot of mistakes.
Right, he's not gonna like if you lose a game, it's not gonna be because he lost you the game.
Yeah, but
essentially.
If going back on it, if we go back on that draft, obviously the 49ers would have picked Rodgers over Smith.
Knowing what they know now.
But if you go back, to now, would you still pick Alex Smith in the first round?
Out of Utah?
Not over Aaron Rodgers, but would you still pick him in the first round? Yeah, I think you still pick Alex Smith in the first round because he's got a nice completion percentage. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He's your ultimate game manager, and he makes a lot of smart decisions, and he's athletic.
And truth be told, his career he resurged his career going to Kansas City.
Definitely. Yeah.
Like when he was this is safe to say if he'd have stayed in San Fran, he probably wouldn't be in the league right now. So he's like say ultimate game manager. Kansas City, they have all the tools there to win the division as far as making it. Yeah. As far as going deep into the playoffs, we'll have the jury is still out on that because things happen. I'm pretty sure they were a favorite to win the division before Jamal Charles went down with an injury, because this is the same division where I was listening to some of our old Triangle episodes when I was at work today, and we were talking about the AFC West and the Denver Broncos and how Peyton Manning wasn't looking. We pretty much said Peyton Manning was done.
Yeah, and he was done.
And he was done.
Cooked.
Goose was cooked 10 times over.
And, he was cooked. Yeah.
And we said that, and I said I'm all legit. If Denver is gonna win this and win the whole thing, their defense is gonna have to carry them. And lo and behold, defense won them the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it definitely did. That's actually a great transition going into the last team is the Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos, interesting situation now. Peyton Manning's out.
You don't have a quarterback.
You don't have a quarterback now.
See, the thing is, the reason I have Denver still winning the division is because they the champs. They are the champs until they aren't the champs.
Top defense in the league still.
You lose.
Still.
How are you the top defense in the league still? And after losing so many key pieces, you lose.
Right.
The first person to go was Danny Trevathan. You lose Danny Trevathan, then you lose Malik Jackson to Jacksonville, and that's weird.
I believe they still have Brandon Marshall though.
You still got.
It's National 314.
You still got Von
Miller. Still got DeMarcus Ware. I mean, you still got your guys. Shane Ray's going to play a big factor, the rookie pick from last year from Mizzou. They're still going to play a big factor. That defensive line, still good. Linebacker core, still good. Defensive back, you got Chris Harris, Aqib Talib, still good. TJ Ward, still good.
Bradley Roby.
Bradley Roby, still good. So, you got guys that, they're still there. From that number 1 overall defense. Because they were number 1 overall in total yards, number 1 overall in passing, and number 3 rushing.
Now the problem.
Not a problem with none of that.
Now the problem becomes who gonna be your quarterback?
Well, that's the thing. Now the Denver Broncos are going into this year. They're saying, hey, Peyton Manning basically didn't give us much last year, and Brock Osweiler, he gave us enough last year. So let's find that middle ground and let's go get Butt Fumble to be our quarterback.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. One, you already know how I feel about Mark Sanchez. So I'm just gonna hold off.
He's gonna be eating many hot dogs on the sideline.
I'm just gonna hold off for that for right now.
Alrighty.
All right, so Osweiler left because he was asking for a certain amount, and John Elway was like, "Well, you're good, but you're not worth what you're asking."
I think another thing that played into the Osweiler leaving was the fact that he's like, "Hey, I basically got you these. I was the main. I held my own at the quarterback position, and then once Peyton Manning comes back in the slightest, time where I was terrible in a game, you put Peyton Manning in there, and then he somehow is miraculously, takes you guys to the Super Bowl with the defense. Well, if I was that quarterback, I probably would have put a little more points on the board, and we still would have won a Super Bowl. Don't you agree?
I could agree with that, but
I could agree with that.
Here's the thing.
I think he was mad. He felt betrayed.
He felt shunned because
exactly. That's a great word.
I can honestly, I think he felt like Elway and the guys, they didn't trust him enough to turn the franchise over to him. But whereas Denver wouldn't even, like you say, Denver probably wouldn't even have a Super Bowl without Brock Osweiler. It was him. Like it was his ability to come. It's not like he came in for one game or two.
No, he came in for about.
He came in for about 7 games. Yeah, that's a little bit.
I think he was 5-2 in those games.
That's like half your season. That's one game under half a season.
Yeah. Peyton Manning, didn't play half the season. You're right.
Like you said, he went 5-2. He easily could have went 7. Like he could have went 7-0. He could have went 6-1. But he also could have went 0-7.
Yeah, he could have went 0-7.
Or 1-6.
With that defense, you're not gonna go 0-7 though.
But here's the thing, like that's the game of football. You never know.
Never know. No.
He could have went 1-6.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
3-4.
Correct.
Whatever. But he went 5-2. Now, granted, some of the teams during that 5-2 stretch, that 7-game stretch, they weren't playoff teams.
No.
But nonetheless, he went 5-2. He held the ship just long, and right when he looked terrible, he started to look terrible against San Diego. They pulled him, and ESPN and everybody, they made a big deal about it, about the sheriff coming back in to save the day.
I think he even led them back to a comeback victory though. Peyton Manning that game.
But it's not if I'm Brock Osweiler, I'm all like, if I'm gonna take over this team at the end of the year, because it wasn't known that Peyton Manning was gonna retire. But it's like, if I'm gonna take over eventually, you drafted me.
Right.
You've been breeding me. I'm your Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Essentially. He sat behind.
It's a stretch.
It's a stretch.
It's a long stretch.
It's probably he was asking for that money. That's probably what he said when he was negotiating. Like, I'm your Tom Brady. Like, you handpicked me. You've been crafting me. I'm the one that's been sitting behind Peyton Manning, taking notes and all this, that, and the other. So it's all like, for him, like he probably felt a little disrespected. It's like I would have felt disrespected. Like, man, like that ring y'all got on y'all finger that I got on my finger, y'all probably wouldn't have it if it wasn't for me. Like, don't get me wrong. The defense played out of their mind. But it's a two-part system.
Literally in that Super Bowl, Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware took over that game.
Like, essentially, because it's like Peyton Manning couldn't throw the ball 5 yards if his life depended on it. And it's all the Carolina defense was good. Yeah, Denver's defense was just great.
Carolina's defense was good. It was really good. They were 6th overall total yards, 4th in the running game, 11th in the passing game. But when you go to Denver's defense, every single position defensively, they are elite.
That Denver defense last season could easily challenge Seattle's
Legion of Boom. Yes.
Legion of Boom defense of, what was that? 20...
I don't know about the 85 Bears, and I don't know about the 2000 Ravens, but
or the steel curtain,
the
05 steel curtain,
05 steel curtain, or the Steelers in the 70s as well. But that's a different game, though.
But it's like you lose Paxton. Not Paxton. Why do I want to keep talking about Paxton Lynch? But you lose Brock Osweiler.
What's interesting?
You lose Brock Osweiler, and your choices to come into the season defending a Super Bowl title, like the day the players get their rings, your choices of quarterback are Mark Sanchez,
Trevor Siemian
out of Northwestern,
and Paxton
Lynch, your rookie out of Memphis. And I've heard reports as to where Mark Sanchez is not even the favorite to get the start. Do you know who's the favorite to get the start?
If I gotta go on a hunch, it's got to be Trevor Siemian.
It is Trevor Siemian. You are 100% correct.
They're both battling, and I think Paxton Lynch is the odd man out, just because
he's a rookie.
Elway wants to ease him into.
And if you're Mark Sanchez, you easily have the most experience out of the three.
Yeah.
You didn't lead the Jets to 2 back-to-back AFC championships. Your defense led the Jets to back-to-back AFC championships. You just couldn't get over that hump. You are a walking meme because you're.
He's definitely a walking.
You are a walking meme because you created you were part of one of the most hilarious not top 10 plays in the history of the NFL. I've never seen a player run into their own player
and fumble.
Yeah. Not only did you just run into your own, you run into that other your own teammate's butt, and his butt caused you to fumble. And not only did you didn't recover the fumble, the opposing team scooped and scored.
Yeah,
after your butt fumble.
That is probably the worst experience probably for that man ever in his life.
You mean to tell me you can't beat out Trevor Siemian
and a rookie quarterback?
Well,
I mean, he's pretty much not even being considered
for the starting position of the Denver Broncos, the Super Bowl champion Denver Broncos. Trevor Siemian, for those that don't know, Trevor Siemian was He went to Northwestern.
He's okay.
If you watch Northwestern, he like Mike Greenberg does. He's a.
He said like Mike Greenberg does.
Because Greeny went to Northwestern.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Greeny did go to Northwestern.
I listened to Mike and Mike when I'm at work, and Greeny had to call Pat Fitzgerald, Northwestern head coach. Like, I'm hearing stuff about Trevor Siemian, about how he could get the starting, the starting job at Denver. Like, what kind of quarterback is he? And Pat Fitzgerald was all like, I forgot what acronym, what synonym he said, but it was just his way of saying he's fine. He's got it. He's got it. So apparently
he's got it.
Apparently Trevor Siemian has got it. And I watched a Northwestern game, and this is when Northwestern had Trevor Siemian and they had Kane Coulter. So they had a 2-quarterback system. So certain formations, Kane Coulter is your quarterback. Other formations, Trevor Siemian is your quarterback. The formations where Kane Coulter was your quarterback, Trevor Siemian was lined up at wide out. And this man is in contention to getting the starting quarterback job. Mark Sanchez, you are...
Look, TJ. Trevor Siemian's an athletic quarterback.
He is. I give him
that.
He's
an athletic quarterback, and he's proven enough. I think I've seen him in a couple backup roles where he's actually been a formidable backup. But, come on, man. If you're going to talk about reps and guy that's got more experience, it's like a no-brainer that Mark Sanchez has to be your quarterback.
It's not. Coming into the It's not that. It's not that. It's not that. It's not he has the most experience.
He does.
It's the fact that he can't beat out Trevor.
I mean, that it's still a question, right? That it's like, Trevor Siemian's probably 60% going to start.
The fact that John Elway and Gary Kubiak has said we're going to use all 4 of these preseason games.
All 4 of them. Like, by your 4 preseason game, you should already know who's the starter.
They're going to need at least all 4 games to determine the starter. And not even all 4. They might go into the first. It might take them the 7 weeks. That means all 4 preseason games, which is 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And the first 3 games of the regular season to find out.
I think this is what Denver should do.
A definite starter.
I think this is what Denver should do.
Go get Mike preseason.
That would be nice, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Okay, this is what Denver should do. TJ thinks they should go get Michael Vick or whatever one of those quarterbacks. Maybe a Vince Young. You're thinking?
No,
he said no. Mike Vick. Anyways, Mike Vick's not coming to Denver. This is what Denver should do. Week 1, go ahead and start Mark Sanchez. God. Week 1 preseason, start Max Sanchez. Week 2 preseason, start Trevor Siemian. Week 3 preseason, start Paxton Lynch. Week 4 preseason, you start who you think is going to be yours. This is what they should do week 4 preseason. 2, they should keep their main offense out there for 6 possessions in the first half. 2 possessions with Mark Sanchez, 2 possessions with Trevor Siemian, 2 possessions with Paxton Lynch. Let's see if they're going to go use all 4 preseason games to determine who's going to be the quarterback. They should do it in that fashion because you don't know. I honestly think that they should start the gate off. Hey, we got an awesome defense already. Number 1 rated defense in the league. Probably going to be number 1 rated defense in this league, barring injury, next season. We still have 2 stud wide receivers in Emmanuel Sanders and Demaryius Thomas. We still have a great running game and a great offensive line in C.J. Anderson and Ronnie Hillman and those big 5 offensive linemen up ahead. We still have, a decent... It doesn't even matter who the heck the tight end is.
It really doesn't.
Doesn't matter because they ain't throwing it to him. This is what you do. Go out there, Paxton Lynch. You're our young quarterback. Throw him out there like they did Ben Roethlisberger, man. Come on, the same thing happened, but you didn't know what you were going to get with Ben Roethlisberger. You didn't know how he was going to be as a quarterback, as a rookie. You had the great defense still. You still had a good set of wide receivers. They had the Jerome Bettis. They still had a good offensive line. They had a veteran-laden squad. This is the same type of team. And they won, they won a Super Bowl, I believe, the next season. The second season, Ben Roethlisberger's second season. So I think the Denver Broncos are making a mistake here by letting Paxton Lynch get 6 games on the bench and then throw him in there in the middle of the season.
Their big mistake.
That's stupid.
Honestly, their big mistake was letting Osweiler go. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like,
they were gonna ridiculously overpay that man.
I mean, what he was asking for, was it a bit much for his body of work? Of course, but
it was.
Why? Like, do you mean to tell me y'all couldn't find a happy medium that according to Osweiler, that John Elway literally told him to his face, you're good, but you're not worth the money you're asking. I mean, John Elway does seem like the type of person to tell somebody that.
John Elway has every right to tell a quarterback how much you're worth.
Don't get me wrong, he got that Pat Riley clout.
He definitely does.
I'm gonna tell you think you worth this. No, son, this is what you worth. This is what I'm giving. And it's kind of like that, it's that my way or the highway type of management. It's all yo,
rightfully so.
You want this? Here's our number. You either meet us in the middle. It's rare. I think it's rare that owners meet their players in the middle.
I think, but yeah.
It always comes down to the player getting closer to the number that the owners want, where they're a million, 2 or 3 or however many off, as opposed to the owners jumping up to what the players want. So if a player wants 30, if a player wants 30 mil, but the owners are only offer him, let's say, 22.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling that the players always come down to, okay, I wanted 30, you offered 22, can we do 24? Or can we do 23 and a half or something like that? I always feel like the players do something like that as opposed to the owners coming up to what, or closer to what the players want. So if you, say you want 30 mil.
Right.
The owner offers you 22. You don't budge, but okay, he no, I want 30 mil or something closer to it. So owner comes back, it's not 30, but it's 20. Let's say it's 26 and a half. Would you take that? It's not 30, but it's 26 and a half.
And yeah. I mean, it's closer to the number that I wanted, that I desired, but it's not the number that
you want.
That I want. And that could be a slap in the face to a couple guys. Now, Brock Osweiler shouldn't have been a slap in the face to him because he wasn't doing jack. That defense was carrying you, buddy. I mean, come on, man.
All you have to do is be a game manager.
I mean, this the problem with the Brock Osweiler situation is you basically left a number 1 rated defense for many years. I would say for the next 2 to 3 least years, they're going to be number 1 rated defense.
Don't get me wrong. I'm for the play. I honestly believe that we're for the players. The players should get, especially in the sport of football, the players should get their money, especially all the money that they think they deserve.
Well, Von Miller just got paid, really.
Von Miller just got paid.
Paid, real big paid, yeah.
So it's they put I think what the owners fail to realize is that these players have a short career span. Like they have this. Like players and teams, like they have a window. Like they have a 5-year window where they're at their when they hit their peak. They have, because of how violent football is, they have a good 3 to 5 years at their peak.
Yeah, I mean, after the original 2 to 3 or 4 years that they have to prove themselves to get that big contract. Yes.
So it's all like
NFL player usually is only gonna get one really big contract and then if you perform really well in that contract, you're going to possibly get another big contract coming up or an extension in probably like your last year, the second to last year of that original contract. But I go back to like, it's a 2 different game. I know they wanted to compare a lot of the NFL players were like, oh, we need all this guaranteed money. But, I mean, dude, you're running, really fast. And you're really strong. And especially on the kickoffs. I mean, you guys are bumping heads, knocking each other's shoulders loose.
Rid of the kickoff.
Yeah, that's ridiculous right there.
That's utter ridiculous.
That's
utter ridiculous. But, like, Osweiler, he got his money. Osweiler's coming out with a point to prove. And he's leaving a team with a stacked defense. And don't get me wrong, like he's going to another team
with a decent defense,
with a grade A defense,
and DeAndre Hopkins,
Hopkins,
budding, he's a superstar in this league now.
And then
say that,
Osweiler's coming out with a point to prove, and it's all like
no running game though for Houston.
I mean, like
they had terrible running game. They have nobody. Who's going to be the running back?
Lamar Miller.
I mean, he's not. I mean,
you signed. Hey,
you signed Lamar Miller. I understand, but Lamar Miller. What's Lamar Miller are you gonna get? I mean, yeah,
that's true.
What's Lamar Miller? Are you gonna get the Lamar Miller 2 years ago or Lamar Miller last year?
Possibly without JJ Watt for the first 3 or 4 games because I think he's having surgery or had.
Well, I mean, I'm going to talk about the AFC North.
Yeah, but like.
Plus, I think Osweiler went to the AFC North because it's a weak, or AFC South because it's a weak division.
But as back to the AFC West, it's Denver's division to lose. As of right now, they are until further notice, the division goes through them.
Oh, Denver, yeah, definitely. Denver, I think it's going to be between. You think it's between Oakland and Denver. I think it's going to be between Kansas City and Denver. And I think, honestly, if you're picking Mark Sanchez, their quarterback situation is going to hinder them. It's definitely going to hinder them. They're not going to be a first-place team just based off of their quarterback. They're not going to be a first-place team.
But here's the thing. If they keep Osweiler, they're a definite
first-place team. They're definitely Super Bowl contender. Hey, it depends on what kind of quarterback you're gonna have middle of the season. If you got Paxton, I believe that they should start Paxton Lynch.
You get rid of your quarterback who already has some type of rapport with his receiving core because he's practiced with these guys ever since he came into the league.
Yeah.
So mind you, he's also him and Paxton Lynch are the same height. So Paxton Lynch is 6'7".
Paxton Lynch is more athletic though.
Osweiler's 6'7", so it's all like I'm like you. I either because I have zero faith in Mark Sanchez.
Yeah, zero. He's done. He's cooked. So you might as well say he's a formidable backup. Yeah.
I legit would get a job. I'm looking at either Trevor Siemian or Paxton Lynch as my day one starter.
Day one starter. I think it's a no-brainer. I mean, if you're gonna go, hey, we're gonna go with the guy that's got the most reps and the guy that has the most experience at the position. Yeah, you're gonna start Mark Sanchez, obviously, because he took 2 Jets teams to AFC Championship, yada yada yada, blah blah blah.
He did not take 2 Jets teams.
I understand. Yeah, he was still the starting quarterback of those leagues. Come on.
The defense took them. Revis Island took them.
We understand that. Everybody understands that. Okay, but if you're gonna go straight on, if you're gonna go, hey, we're gonna look at the future at this position. You have to start Paxton Lynch day one, because what's the most you got to lose at that position? One, he throws a couple bad interceptions. So can Mark Sanchez.
Mark Sanchez is actually more capable.
You know what I'm saying?
He's actually more.
And his athletic upside is not as high as a Paxton Lynch. Neither is Trevor Siemian's athletic upside is as high as Paxton Lynch. So if the play breaks down and Paxton Lynch has to get you 10, 15 yards on the ground, he's going to do it.
Mark Sanchez is liable to butt fumble.
And Mark Sanchez is liable to butt fumble. Exactly. He's liable to throw an interception or something like that. And so, with that being said, Paxton Lynch could do the same thing as a rookie and gain experience from day one. I mean, I don't understand. This is a no-brainer for me. I think you start Paxton Lynch from day one. You got a number 1 rated defense. You got a bunch of veterans around them. You got a good running game. You got a good offensive line. If the play breaks down, he's just going to, use his athletic ability. And like I said, he's going to gain experience from day one. He's not going to gain experience holding the clipboard, watching Mark Sanchez butt fumble and throw interceptions. That's not going to teach him anything.
And honestly, Paxton Lynch is overlooked because he went to Memphis.
Yeah, man, but he had a couple bad games against some really good teams.
Like it's because he went to Memphis, and it's like, but that's another story that's another topic for another day. Yeah, but it's like my day one. If I'm Denver, if I'm Gary Kubiak, and I'm going up to Elway, like, hey man, we got players on this defense that have that win now mentality because DeMarcus Ware is what 35, 36, maybe older. And it's like, and you got a couple other guys on that defense that's getting up there in age, that's pushing that dreaded number in the NFL for all NFL players is 30. For whatever reason, whatever position, it's not just running backs. It's whatever position you play.
Yeah, if you're age 30,
the minute you reached age 30,
your body's been through a lot.
It's like the minute you reach age 30, they just automatically assume that you're on the decline. And it's all like, for what I don't know where that mentality came from, and DeMarcus Ware is 36, maybe at the oldest. Von Miller's what, pushing 30.
Mm-hmm. Von Miller's still in his 20s.
He's still in his 20s, late 20s.
He's mid 20s.
Mid 20s,
he's like 26.
Okay, so mid going into late 20s. Yeah, so it's like you gotta and. DeMarcus Ware has seen a lot of...
DeMarcus Ware's early 30s. I think he's 32, 33.
DeMarcus Ware has seen a lot of miles.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously, but you know...
But that's beside the point. A lot of guys on this defense, a lot of veterans...
They're in their prime.
A lot of veterans on this defense are on their prime, and they don't have time to sit back and wait for the management to figure this out. Because the defense can only do so much. Yeah, like the defense can stop people from scoring, but they can't score themselves.
Well, I mean,
they could, but it's like they can't.
Well, the one thing about a terrible offense going along with a good defense, I mean, you're pretty much your 2004 or your 2006 Bears there. They terrible defense, terrible offense, good defense, and your defense is out on the field most of the time. They had
offense.
Well, the first 8 games of the 06 Bears.
It was the defense and Devin Hester. Because every time they kicked it to him, he was gone.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like a lot of teams. I mean, those type of teams like the 06 Bears were a different breed of defense. It was defense. The 2000 Ravens were a different breed of defense.
Because who was the what was that?
Trent Dilfer got the worst starting quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl ring is Trent Dilfer. The worst starting quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl ring is Trent Dilfer, and everybody could agree with me on this one. He is the prototypical. He is the person that you look at as the ultimate sucky game managing quarterback, average as heck, with a stellar defense that the defense takes them. He can't even be a game man. Trent Dilfer was okay in Tampa, and he went to Baltimore. He was just flat. I mean, he had a couple good games, but he was terrible. He was terrible. And so Mark Sanchez, if the Denver goes to the Super Bowl, Mark Sanchez could very well be in that mold. Is terrible, one of the most terrible quarterbacks.
Mark Sanchez has got off he's so bad to the point where he can't beat out once again.
Trevor Siemian.
He can't beat Trevor Siemian for the starting job.
That's hilarious, man. That's hilarious.
He can't beat Trevor Siemian for the job. Like if he was on the Jets right now, he'd probably lose the job to Geno Smith. That's how bad he is.
Wow. So with that being said, TJ's picking. He's picking the Broncos to go first, right?
Yeah.
I'm picking the Broncos to go second. I think the Chiefs are going to be number one team in this division.
I'm going Denver, Oakland, KC, San Diego.
And I'm going KC, Denver, possibly, and then see that third and. You know what? I agree with you, and I'll go. The Raiders are going to be the third best team because they're younger. They got a lot more to prove.
Well, if you agree with me, Oakland will be second.
I'll agree with you that Oakland's going to be better than San Diego, but I'm not going to agree with you that Oakland's going to be second. No, not at all. I don't think they have enough talent there.
They're not there yet.
No, they're not there.
They on that. If not this year, next year type thing.
If not this year, another couple years down the road. First of all, I'm not a big believer in Latavius Murray, and Derek Carr is a nice piece. Mark Cooper's a nice piece, but Michael Crabtree needs to go. They need a better tight end, and basically, their defense is the only bright spot on that team, along with Amari Cooper and Derek Carr.
And Denver, you need to figure out your quarterback.
That's basically it. This division overall is a B to me. If I have to give them a grade, this division is not one of the best in AFC.
Can we just reflect real quick? Like, this is the first NFL season without Tom Brady, without Peyton Manning, without Charles Woodson, Calvin Johnson, beast mode
in a long time. Well, in the last, how many years are gonna go? 10 years.
Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, you're losing a lot of star power this offseason. And so you're doing a lot of reflecting. And, yeah. Hey, and you know who's out there that could actually help the Denver Broncos in the special teams game is Devin Hester.
Yeah.
He's out there. So if they go grab Devin Hester, or maybe he's going to reunite with the Bears. I don't think that's going to happen.
I hope it do.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Just for old times.
I could see Devin Hester ending up in Miami.
Going back
home. I can see Devin Hester going back home to Miami, helping them out in the kick return, punt return.
Have you done the AFC East already?
No. We're gonna get to that. I just started the AFC. This is the first installment of the AFC. I'm probably gonna talk about the AFC East maybe tomorrow.
Hey, on a quick note on the AFC East, y'all got 4 games to do something right. 4 games. Because the minute that man come back.
Well,
first of
all, look.
The minute that man come back, and you already know who I'm talking about. Tom Brady, the GOAT.
I think Jimmy Garoppolo is gonna win at least 3 of those games.
Jimmy G gonna do his thing. Stephen A. Smith hates when they call him Jimmy G on First Take. I think it's hilarious. I think he is Jimmy Garoppolo till further. No, he is Jimmy G. Jimmy Garoppolo, he gonna do it. He gonna do something like that. The only game I can see New England losing is against the Cardinals. Because their defense is just as nasty as any defense in the league, any top defense in the league that is. But the AFC East teams, Buffalo, the Jets, that they figured out they Ryan Fitzpatrick situation, and the Dolphins, y'all got.
They're gonna lose it. They're gonna lose in Arizona. They're gonna go 1-1. They're gonna beat Miami. They're gonna beat Houston.
Y'all have 4 games, especially Buffalo.
They're gonna go 3-1.
If I had to pick a team to win this division, not named New England, I would go Buffalo. Y'all have 4 games to get off to a hot start. If Buffalo can go 4-0 and New England can go 3-1 in that 4-game spread, y'all have the advantage.
Right. Oh. And we're gonna go over AFC East. I agree with you. I think Jimmy G's at least gonna give Jimmy Garoppolo's gonna give them 3 games.
He can give them 3.
He's gonna give them 3 games. I see them losing to the Cardinals, but that's neither here nor there. We went over the AFC West, and so we'll cover the AFC East next time. I don't know if you're gonna join me on that episode or not, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I'll probably try and post that up tomorrow. But with that being said, It's NFL is right around the corner. That's the AFC West that wraps it up. The AFC West, pretty average division. A little bit better than a C plus, probably B minus. I'll give them a B.
I'll be nice. I'll give them preseason ranking of a B.
Yeah, the AFC as a whole, I'll give them a B just because I don't think the AFC West is better than the AFC North. How competitive that division is. Yeah, I think the AFC North is by far the best division, not in football, but in the AFC at least. So with that being said, go ahead and like the podcast. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel PSW Prime. I'll post this on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Go ahead and like, share, comment, tell me what you think. And with that being said, thanks for coming on the show, TJ.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on the show. It's always a good thing to have another co-host on the show with me. And with that being said, hopefully, we'll cover both of you doing for the AFC East. Gave you a small snippet at the end of the show and kind of went off track. With that being said, man, see you guys later. Peace out.